Well, hey, I'm Dave Coach, and today we're going to take a look at a photographer's worst nightmare. This house right here. Why is this house so bad? Well, you'll see when we get inside. This is one of my real good customers, so I know exactly what to expect here. And I came here knowing that this is what I was going to get. Kind of an average home, but completely, utterly bare. I call this a photographer's worst nightmare because there's just nothing here to work with. It's just blank, which in a lot of ways would be fun, having a blank canvas. But here, there's just nothing to play off of. We've got real overcast light, which is good. But again, if we had bright lights coming through those windows, we at least would have some shadow play that we could play with. But this is just pretty much boring. So we could shoot this as is and just have blank, boring pictures. Or we can try and do something with this. And, it's important that we consider that we have to do this on a real estate photographer's time budget, which means we don't have a whole lot of time for setting up lights and making shadows and stuff like that. We need to be in and out of here, do it as quickly as we can. So what I want to do is consider what options we have here and what we can do to maybe make this pop a little bit more and spark a little bit more. So what are some of the options? Obviously, we're going to shoot it. So we'll shoot it as best as we can. But I think as I'm walking through this and looking around, there's actually a couple of interesting angles and different things that we can play off of. This, for instance, I think is kind of cool. If we lit this dark area a little bit, we have some depth and we have some fun things we can play with. We've got some windows. So that could make an interesting shot. Again, here, there's some interesting lines, and it takes, what could be a very flat room and makes it a little bit more exciting. This is something I think we want to stay away from. First off, a single point perspective just makes it look flatter. And showing the walls like this, to me, gives it that shoebox look. So this is something I'm going to want to avoid. I think your friend in an empty house is to shoot from the angles and the corners and stay away from single points as much as possible. I look for compositions like this. I think it has interesting light. I think it has some really neat angles and things to it. And even though there's no furniture, we're seeing a little bit of the dimensions of the room. And as we move along over here, it can be, I don't want to say exciting, but as exciting as this house is going to be. This also is a pretty good angle. I would go for something like this because, again, you're seeing depth, you're seeing angles, and even though you don't have furniture to spice this up, you've got enough movement and enough angles to make an interesting sort of picture. Another thing you may or may not have noticed when I'm picking out my shots, I'm shooting a lot tighter than I normally would. When you shoot an empty house with a really wide angle lens, it's just going to look emptier and duller. This is a really good opportunity to start zooming in and putting things into the shot and filling the frame. And that, I think, is what's going to make this as exciting as we can make it. Again, it's not going to be a luxury home, but I'm not being paid for a luxury home either. I'm being paid to make this look really good. So that's my goal. We don't have great exteriors, but we have decent exteriors, and I do kind of want to show that. And because we've got this nice low-level light with the overcast, I think we can really pull these in and show them. So I've gone through and I've opened all the blinds, except for that one door, because it didn't work. But I think we can show a little bit more excitement too by showing the outside. Okay, here's a wide shot. It's actually not too bad a wide shot, but I think you get what I mean when I say when you shoot really, really wide, things are going to look empty. Let's see, I think, yeah, that's as wide as we can get. It might be good for showing the space, but it's also really good for showing empty space. Whereas if we zoom in, let's zoom in. See, if we do a shot more like that, let's go a little bit more. Yeah. See, that doesn't look as empty. It fills the frame. And I keep using the word exciting. I don't think that's a good word, but, it makes it more interesting. And I think will cause people to look at this more. Obviously, we need the light in there when we take stills, but, that is way more appealing than that. This is the one room you don't really have to worry a whole lot about, the kitchen. It's got enough stuff in it that it's, for all intents and purposes, furnished. So this is not something I would recommend furnishing. Just shoot it a little tighter, and you'll be fine. All right, so I've gone through and I've picked out my shots, and that is probably the first basic way to try and make an empty house look more appealing, is to find appealing shots like that. Our second level of adding interest is to shoot knowing that we're going to virtually stage. The upside of this is it's going to look a lot more homey, and people are going to be able to feel like they're in that home a little bit better seeing furniture. The downside is it gets pretty expensive. Even the AI versions are $10 to $15 a picture. And, when you're talking 20 or 30 pictures in a home like this, nobody's going to want to add $200 to $500 to the bill. What I generally recommend is shoot 2 or 3 dedicated shots for virtual staging. Use those at the front of the slideshow or whatever you're doing to show that appeal, get people in, and then they can start to picture themselves in that home. I know this is exactly the sort of shot I said not to shoot because it shows all the empty space. But with virtual staging in mind, this is the sort of shot that you want. You want something with a lot of empty space that you can put your virtual furniture into. So that's why I said plan your shots, shoot your basic shots and try and make the space look appealing and shoot those tighter. But then those shots that you're going to do the virtual staging in, go ahead and shoot those wide. If we come back to here, that shot that I didn't like earlier, and we zoom out, this is for virtual staging, I think ideal framing. I don't like showing 3 walls, just 2. But we could put a dining room in here, a living room in here, maybe even something in the entryway, bar stools there. This is a really good candidate shot for virtual staging because it shows so much, and with one virtual stage, you can really fill out a room. When shooting for virtual staging, this is probably not a shot I would recommend. You're just not seeing enough of the house. Maybe if you really like the view and all that, this would be a good one, but I think it's better to do more shots that show more rooms. I think this would be a better candidate for a shot because it's got a lot more room and shows a lot more of the house, but it's still not great. It's still kind of flat and ugly. So I think if we moved over to this corner here and then shot this way, I think that's a lot better candidate. I think you're going to see a lot more furniture, a lot more room. I generally will recommend 2 living room, dining room combos, something like that. And then the master bedroom, just one of those. Get 3 of them at, $20 each. That's $60. That's probably good enough. And like I said, plan which ones you're going to do and shoot wide and shoot as if there were furniture there, how you would normally shoot a house. And those are the ones that are the best candidates for virtual staging. There's another option that's just recently become available to us. CubiCasa has a really cool feature that when you do your normal floor plan scan, you do on a lot of houses, you can upgrade that and have furniture put in. And that's just on the floor plan, but it does make looking at the house and sizing the house a lot easier for potential customers or clients or whomever. But there's another thing that they've added in the last, I think about a year ago is I think when I first saw it and I started shooting them, and it's really opened up a whole new market for me and really is the sort of thing that my realtors are getting very excited about. And that's a 3D tour. Starting with the same scan, nothing different about it. You send that in, you get upgraded to the 3D scan, and you get a video walkthrough of the whole place. Not just that, but it will be virtually staged. Again, it's not cheap. It's about $160, I think, something like that. But if you're going to be spending $60, $80, $100 on virtual staging, why not just up it a little bit more, get a video walkthrough, and have that completely staged? Every room in the house will be covered. That's really, really cool. The other thing I found out about that just recently is you can do a horizontal or a vertical scan. So you can do a social media post with it in the vertical format if that's something that your client wants to do. So I think that's a giant plus. You can also request the style of furniture, modern, antique, that sort of thing. I think we'll go with something bright here, but we are definitely going to do that. And like I said, all you do is your regular CubiCasa scan. So how do you do it? You just go to your phone, go to your CubiCasa app, open it just like normal. Let's see, let's do a scan. Single home. Confirm, continue, and then let's scan. So when I'm doing a scan, I usually start at the front door. I start the scan, and then I just continue moving in one direction all around the house. And I just follow the walls. And you just continue going all around the house, just like this. Now that the scan is complete, and as I said, that's just the regular scan you would do. You do a couple extra things on the upload, and you're good to go. All right, so you hit send for processing, and then you get the plus 3D, which is $65, and that's going to give you a floor plan like this, all furnished. You're upgrading from that to that. And then you hit continue, and then you get a 3D render. And yeah, when I said 160, it's actually less than that, I guess. So 85 plus 65, let's do that in my head, 150. And when you get both, and then you continue, and then right here, this is where you can add all your special details. Use modern furniture. I need the video vertical. Anything else you want in that, you let them know. And yeah, 150 is the total. Hit continue, and then you place the order, and then it uploads, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It is Thursday today, and as you saw from my phone, it is about 11:30. So 11:30 on Thursday, I'm uploading this. I will tell you and show you the timestamp when I get the video and the 3D floor plan back so that you know how long to expect for these to happen. And I'll also show them to you so that you can see what to expect. Well, I am back and everything has come in, so we are ready to proceed. We got the 2D floor plan in about 2 hours. I think it came in at about 1:30, something like that. So that came through real quick. And then the 3D floor plan and the 3D render, that's the proper name for it, 3D render, was done at about 3 a.m. on Friday. So those both came in well in time for a 24-hour turnaround if that was what was needed. That wasn't in this case, but I know a lot of our jobs are a 24-hour turnaround. So those do come in real quick and you're able to do a 24-hour turnaround with them. I would point out it has taken longer for those in the past. And I don't know whether that was because this was just a single floor versus, multiple floors in a basement and all that, or it just happened to catch them at a good time, or that CubiCasa has speeded up. But I will tell you honestly, I think that was a little quick for their turnaround. Again, it may just be that it was a single floor and that was easy to do. Anyway, let's take a look at the product we got. So once you get the email that your order is complete, you go here to your dashboard. You just come down to your order. You can see it has 3D product as an add-on. You just click on it and there is our base floor plan, just like we expect. This is what everybody gets. And in case you didn't know it, you get this for free with every CubiCasa scan. You can get just that, not pay a dime and be done. You download this by hitting the download button, and then what I recommend is downloading Ping. If you use a process like me with HD Photo Hub or REO, Ping automatically gets put into your media center as a floor plan, whereas if you downloaded JPEG, that would get put down in the regular pictures for the scan. So that's how they tend to differentiate pings and JPEGs. At least that's how I found it to be. Anyway, so you want to download that as a PNG. Okay, notice also here we have our 3D product, 3D floor plans and 3D video. We hit download and this will all come down in one nice package with everything in it. And this is how it looks. So there it is. So we open that up and there's our 3D floor plan, our 3D video, our ping without dimensions and our ping with dimensions. Sometimes, and I've had this happen a lot, where realtors do not want the dimensions on there. So you might want to use the ping without dimensions. But just to show you what it looks like, there it is. And then our ping with dimensions looks roughly the same, but strangely enough with dimensions. So there we are. Also, just as a side note, if this they call the dining area and you want that to be the family room, you can send it back to CubiCasa and have these relabeled as needed. So there you go. All right, now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the 3D floor plan. And again, this comes as a ping, and there you go. This is where we were. That wide shot that I told you that I hated and that we were going to virtually stage, that was shot from about here where that plant was. I think we did another shot from here and we did a shot from here. So that, just to give you an idea of the layout of the place. But there you go. That is what you get with a 3D floor plan. And when you compare that to, a ping, it doesn't matter with or without dimensions, what do you think is going to catch the eye more? I think, if this is all you do, that's still going to be very eye-catching and grab a lot of interest. But wait, there's more. Let's go to the 3D video. And we requested this to be vertical, and there it is as a vertical. And let's play it and take a look at it. So we are at the front door right now. And there you go. We're walking through the whole process. Keep in mind too, this is quote unquote raw video. So you can do a lot with this. There's no music to it, no audio, no nothing. You can add the broker or the realtor's voiceover saying, you know, and here's the spacious living room and, you know, whatever you want. Put a music bed into it, and I recommend you at least do that. Another really cool thing to do here would be to add speed ramps, because some of these transitions between rooms get kind of boring. So if you put in speed ramps, you're going to make this a lot more exciting. Or you can just cut it up and use it as needed, just this room, that room, that room. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. And as you can see, this is substantially more appealing than a blank, ugly, empty room. In the interest of being upfront, I do want to let you know that I am good friends with a lot of people at CubiCasa. I think a lot of people in the real estate photography business know people at CubiCasa, so that's not unusual. I am very good friends with one specific person there, but they had no input into this video. They know I'm making it. I did tell them that I was doing it, but in no case did they give me anything for doing it. I'm not being paid. These are my own conclusions. I think CubiCasa offers a very unique solution that addresses this specific problem, and that's why I'm addressing it and using CubiCasa. I don't know of an alternative that does what they do, and so that's why CubiCasa is in this. Not because they're paying me, not because they're friends of mine, not for any other reason. So just wanted to be upfront about that. That all being said, I hope you learned something, and I hope you will like and subscribe, and may your next shoot be your best shoot.